Hello, I'm Mike Rutherford.
I'm Tony Banks.
I'm Phil Collins. And we're Genesis, aren't we?
Yes,
I'm in Aerosmith.
And you're watching us.
Hot sun beating down, burning my feet just walking around. Hot sun making me sweat. Gators getting close, hasn't got me yet. I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling everything.
It seemed to be an easier album to write than Invisible Touch. It seemed to be quite quick in the way things came together. But I'd say it's the way we did it was the same. But obviously, that's just a matter of the moon being in the correct house and how easy it is, isn't it, really? I don't know about these things. It's all luck, really.
It seems a long time, but I mean, there was plenty of things to do. Meanwhile, obviously, I've made a couple of records, and Mike's made one or two, I think, and Phil obviously has been doing. Everyone knows what Phil's been doing. I think if you're carrying on sort of more than one career at the same time, which is kind of what we're doing, you need to spend the time away. And I think nowadays, albums seem to have longer and longer lives as well. I mean, Invisible Touch was sort of a current album for at least a year, really. Whereas in the old days, you put an album out and then after the first week it was sort of over, actually, So you couldn't afford to have long gaps like you can now.
In the early days, when we didn't make an album for a year, you get phone calls from America saying, some radio stations announced you'd split up. So it's fairly natural, and I think people see us doing solo stuff, which is automatically, they presume that that's it, it's all over. So most of the articles now, I'm sure, start with Genesis have reformed, but you can't tell them so.
Well, the key to my survival was never in much doubt. The question was how I could keep sane, trying to find a way out. Things were never easy for me. Peace of mind was hard to find, and I needed a place where I could hide, somewhere I could call mine.
No Son of Mine always seemed a very strong track when we recorded it, actually. It had a strong atmosphere. It kind of started, Tony sampled, I was playing a guitar phrase and Tony sampled it and turned it upside down and slowed it down, which is that kind of strange elephant noise that starts the track. And that's really how we started, in fact, with a kind of elephant noise stroke atmosphere, and Phil just started singing. And as normally happens, once you have an atmosphere, you have a sort of direction to develop the song, and off we went.
I was singing that chorus, son of mine, long before the lyrics were written and at the same time as when the music was written. And then Mike said to me, I think you should write this lyric because it sounds like you're singing No Son of Mine. And I hadn't really thought about what I was singing, but that's what I was singing.
He sat me down to talk to me. He looked me straight in the eyes. He said, son of mine. Son of mine. You walked out, you left us behind. And son of mine.
A song like No Son of Mine, I always saw as us being flies on the wall, and the action taking place in a room with us there, but a bit like It's a Wonderful Life, where you're looking down on it, and you're not there, but you're trying to do something about it, And so that's the kind of attitude, that's the kind of way we've taken the video.
And playback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Well, the key to my survival was never in much doubt.
We felt the song had all of the strengths, it represented Genesis, and it would also contrast well with things that are going down at the moment. I mean, it's just sort of so different to anything you're going to hear on the radio.
You know, son, son of mine. You know, son of mine. When you walked out, you left us behind. And you know, son of mine.
We always try and look for little sort of areas that we haven't covered before. And the most obvious one on this album would be the song "I Can't Dance," which is a sort of funny, in a way, it's funny because it's a sort of area that other groups probably have covered, you know. But we kind of wanted to see if we could do it, and we purposely kept it fairly unarranged and loose idea, and just put it down very quickly.
'Cause I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling.
And I Can't Dance kind of said something nice for us, partly in this moment in time with all the dance music and the rap stuff. It's just kind of, we just don't do it, which kind of seemed to fit with the title "We Can't Dance."
I can dance, I can sing.
I just started singing a sort of bluesy vocal, and straight away that the bones of the song was there. And we didn't arrange it, we didn't muck about with it until later on in the album. In fact, it was one of the last things we did. And we all thought, I think at the time, that it sounded a little bit like a guitar riffy song that you might hear on a commercial, like a jeans commercial, for example. So really, it's the fact that the idea of the song is that the hunks that you see in these commercials are actually quite dishy chaps. But in fact, it's possible that they can't actually string a sentence together. We don't know this. We only assume, if any of them are watching. I don't want to get...
Water here.
But I can dance.
This is the first album, either that I can remember, or for a long time anyway, that I feel as close to each song as the one before or the one after. You know, usually there's a couple of songs that you feel a little less close to because you either had a little less involvement in it, or it reflects a little less of you. But on this album, I feel very close to all of them.
Hold on my heart, 'cause I'm looking over your shoulder. Ooh, please don't rush in this time. Don't show her how you feel. Hold on my heart, throw me a lifeline. I'll keep a place for you somewhere deep inside.
I think lyrically we're always looking to do something we haven't done before. On this album, pretty much, we kind of normally divide by three. This album we kind of divided, Phil did about half the lyrics, and Tony and I split the other half. And it worked very well, I think, because when we record, Phil sings with the drum machine most of the time while I play guitar and Tony plays keyboards. And very often you get quite a lot of vocal melodies and kind of lyrical lines that just kind of come out naturally, which is often how we develop the songs. But I think the mood of this album, I think, is a little bit darker lyrically, which I quite like, a bit more mysterious.
You see the face on the TV screen, coming at you every Sunday. See the face on the billboard, well, that man is me. On the cover of the magazine, there's no question why I'm smiling. You buy a piece of paradise, you buy a piece of me. I'll get you everything you wanted, I'll get you everything you need. You don't need to believe in hereafter, just believe in me. 'Cause Jesus, he knows me, and he knows I'm right. I've been talking to Jesus all my life. Oh yes, he knows me, and he knows I'm right. And he's been telling me everything is alright.
We're planning a tour next year. We start rehearsals in March and the tour starts in May. It's not a mega one, it's not a mini one, it's kind of medium one.
It's a mega medium.
It's a mega medium one. It's gonna be, I'm afraid to say, in stadiums, because it's very hard for us to go and play. We either play 10 nights in a theatre or one night in a big place, and we just haven't You don't want to give a whole year or 2 years to touring.
A lot of people in the public, I look at Genesis a bit and think of it as Phil's vehicle. I know I'm bound to think that. And say in the old days, you used to think it was Peter Gabriel's vehicle, you know. And of course, it's never been like that, but it's very difficult to really get people to understand that.
I approached this album with a little bit of trepidation. I didn't know. I'd been on the road with my band for 10 months, playing my music, and I'd loved it. You know, I'd really had a great time. I did the, but seriously, you know, I mean, solo albums are great fun to do. And I thought, a Genesis album, well, we'll do it, you know, but I wonder what it's going to be like, because I don't know. I genuinely didn't know. And after a couple of days, and you see the kind of material that's coming out from just the three of us being in the room, you think, yes, this is good fun. I am enjoying this. And so it's almost, when I say at the end of it, it's great, I'm really proud of it, it's actually more surprise, you know. That actually, I'm surprised it actually turned out as good as it did.
Always once I heard, I'll never forget.